see you, Arnie. Exciting squad names. We start with Alex Robertson, who has been on your list for a while. Obviously, if he plays in a friendly, it doesn't lock him down, but this seems to be a pretty good indication that he wants to play for Australia. Can you talk us through your conversations with him and his involvement, I guess, in this window?
Yeah, look, I've probably been talking to him for over 18 months, and it was a matter of just one step at a time. This time when I called him and told him I wanted to pick him for the squad, these Ecuador games, straight away it was, Arnie, I can't wait. And he was looking forward to it so much. His agent, Paddy Dominguez, has been fantastic in the communication through that by keeping me informed of where the kid's at, and his dad, Mark. And it's great that the kid's, I do believe, is aligned himself now with Australia, and I'm pretty sure once he puts that Socceroos shirt on and feels the emblem on his heart that there's only one nation he will play for. But look, the kids, I haven't just picked him because, you know, he's a talent. He's doing very, very well at Man City and playing with the under-23s, but training every day with the first team. René Molenstein, my assistant, is met up with him in the UK. That's the benefit of having René in that role. He's met up with Alex and has spoken to him about the expectations of what we expect for when he comes into camp. And I spoke to him, young Alex, last night to congratulate him, and I look forward to seeing him next week.
Vince, follow up?
Just to follow that up, yeah, Arnie, you've seen a lot more of Alex than we have as a footballer, no doubt. What excites you about him as a player, his role, what does he do best, and how soon do you think he can show those things to the Socceroos?
Well, mate, I wouldn't be picking him, Vince, if I didn't think he was on the edge already. He plays more as a number 8, very similar to De Bruyne or Goedekamp. He plays that type of role at Man City, and you know, he's been on the bench a few times with the first team. But when you're playing and training with those type of players every week, he's there for a reason, and that reason is obviously that Pep Guardiola rates him highly and sees what quality he's got. So he's more of an attacking type 8, 10 type midfielder. Gets in the box, scores goals, and makes assists as well. So he's got a good flair about him.
Tom Smithies.
Arnie, the other eye-catching name is Irankunda. I know he's only there as a train-on player, but what do you want? What are you hoping to see from him? What's the idea of having him there, and is there any prospects at all of him actually being part of the squad?
Well, mate, I think everyone's like myself. Like, I'm so excited with this squad, and my energy is through the roof at the moment. But you know, seeing the kid play, and he's got these special qualities that you know, at a kid at the age of 17, the physique on him, the speed on him is exciting. I've had some great chats with Carl Viet, who's been a great mentor and leader to Nestor. And look, at the end of the day, he's coming in for an experience, but that's not ruling out game time. These are 2 friendly games that I don't like to use that word friendly, because every time you put on that Socceroos shirt, I expect the energy, the performance to be at its best. But he's coming in for these games to have that experience of what it's like to play or be at a top level. And I want him to learn quickly, and also to help Adelaide as well with that he sees what it takes from an Aaron Moy or from a Jackson Irvine, or you know, one of those older players, of what it takes to get to the top level. And I do believe that he will end up at that top level, and but just to help him on his way.
Tom, did you have a follow-up?
Yeah, Carl Viet has spoken about the need for him to understand the work rate that's involved in being a top footballer and do all the things that are asked of him, as well as the glory stuff. Is this part of that, to try and give him that education to show from Matt Ryan and Moy and all those,
yep,
the level of work that's involved?
Exactly. And it's not only just on the field, you know, it's off the field, the behaviour, but also, you know, how Matty and Aaron and these guys who have been professionals for a long time and have achieved these things, that what it takes day to day to be a professional footballer. And I think he will learn very quickly off that. And as I said, yes, he is in there as a train-on at this moment. There's 2 games that are, you know, the backup of the games is very short. So we play Friday, Tuesday. and there'll be a good chance for the second game especially that he'll be in the squad.
Joey?
Hi, Arnie. Very exciting squad. I'd follow up what Vince said. Just getting back to Robertson, looking him up, I don't think he's played an official game for England's underage sides. Does that mean he won't need to file a change of eligibility with FIFA upon getting this call-up?
That's it, Joey. Already done.
So he's filed the change of eligibility already?
He had as you said, he hadn't played for England junior national team, so he's got the Australian passport, so he can play with us straight away. But it was
and as a follow-up to that, you've talked about the importance of qualifying for Paris and the Olympic team. Are you envisioning Alex also featuring for Tony Vidmar at points during the coming years?
I'd expect so. Yeah, I think that's a great step as well for the kid. But, you know, some of these junior national team tournaments in AFC are not in FIFA windows, but that's a conversation that I have had with him already about that program as well. And, you know, you can see what it does to every player if they go to the Olympics and they experience being at the Olympics in a major competition, playing against top opposition, what it can do for their careers. So young Alex is probably open-minded to that as well.
Anything else for the moment, Joey?
Well, yeah, just on the other two exciting names, Geordie Boss and Joe Gauci. Obviously, you spoke about both of them at the unveiling of this series, but now they're officially been called up for these games. What role do you expect them to play over the two fixtures?
Yeah, look, I think with Joe Gauci, it's a great opportunity for the kid to come in and see what Matty Ryan does and Andrew Redmayne and learn off him. He's doing exceptionally well at Adelaide, and as I said in the last presser, that goalkeeping situation at the moment is, you know, we've got the older keepers and younger keepers, and he's a young one. And giving him that experience to come in and be around everybody and see what it is to go to that level is hugely important. Geordie Boss, well, you know, I've just been impressed with him probably for a year and a half, not just the last, you know, month or so. He's got great attacking skills as a left fullback. He's a left fullback that can, you know, get high, get forward and get some good crosses in the box, and he's physically a good specimen for what we need. So again, I'm excited to see these guys, and I've said this publicly before. I believe in the A-League and believe in Australian kids, and you know, as you said, it's an exciting moment with selecting this squad, but also for the senior players to show great leadership to these younger players through the camps of exposing them to what it takes to be an elite player.
Adam?
Yeah, Arnie, just on that message about the A-League, okay, you've got Alex and Connor Metcalf, good to see him back coming from overseas, but the bulk of the replacements are from the A-League. So what does that tell you about not so much the standard of the competition, but the opportunity that these players particularly are getting here in Australia as opposed to players that you might have been able to call on from overseas?
Yeah, look, I think, as I said, it's when you look at the squad, there's 16 players that played match time at the World Cup. And again, Adam, it's this is an opportunity, you know, for the fans to come and you know, say thank you, but also for the players to get together for the first time since the World Cup. 5 players that didn't get any match minutes at the World Cup are selected as well. So we got 3 injured, and Danny Vukovic retired, but that gives the opportunity to younger kids. For me, it's as I said, it's a blank sheet of paper. These guys have been given the first chance. There's other players out there that are still with that opportunity. Tony Vidmar's taking a team to Italy in the same window, and there's some very good young kids there as well. So, as I said, belief in the kids is the most important thing, and then giving them those opportunities to step up and show what they've got. And you know, I think you saw that clearly from the Olympic campaign that we had last time in Tokyo. How many of those players have gone overseas and gone on, and now how many of those players are in this squad. But the statistics show over all the years that when you have a successful Olympic campaign, and that's not actually winning a medal, that's just qualifying for the Olympics, that you probably get 7 or 8 players each Olympic campaign that goes on to play 50 games or more for the Socceroos. So it's important that we keep bringing those kids through. Yes, I've said this many times, the A-League needs to play more games. 25 is not enough, and we need more football in Australia, and if we do that, then we'll get more and more kids through.
Adam, follow up?
Yeah, and just on a kid who's already overseas, Garang, does he
Yep.
just need an arm around him at the moment and pep him up in camp?
Oh, I think so, Adam. I think that, he's gone to a competition that's a physical competition of the way the Scottish football's played, and it's going to be a learning process for the kid as well. It's not easy, and a lot of people don't understand that when you leave family, you leave friends. The A-League, you look at all of our stadiums are incredible, and the players play on great pitches every week. But in Scotland, you've only got a few stadiums that are like they are here in the A-League, and the rest are not so great. And it's a learning experience as well as the weather conditions that Garang has to get used to now over there. And all the times of it and things like that. It's all a learning process. So for the kid, it's about hanging in there and working hard and having that strong mentality. But this is what a national team camp can do for young kids or players that are going through a bit of a negative experience at their club at the moment. If they're not winning games, that brings them back to life in camp for 10 days, playing for their nation. And there's nothing more prouder for them than that, and giving him some energy, and he'll go back to Hearts feeling in a much better mood.
Luke Doherty?
Yeah, hey Arnie, how you going?
Good,
Just
Luke.
on that theme, mate, with Garang, first of all, you spoke about Rene being over there and sort of checking in with players, particularly at Hearts. I mean, do you use Kai and Cammy and Nat to sort of check up on him, or put an arm around him? Are they doing that naturally, or are you involved in that process at all?
Yeah, I speak to the other ones just to make sure that the kid's okay. Nathaniel Atkinson and that are there with him every day. I'm just checking in on them to make sure they're okay, but also how Garang is, and making sure that he's in a good headspace. And obviously, as I said, it's a learning process for the kid. Here back in Australia, sometimes, we give the kids it not too good or too easy, but, we put them on a pedestal, and then sometimes it doesn't work that way. But, most important thing is the kid keeps working hard and keeps believing in himself, and he's got good people around him. At least he's got those 3 other boys that are there that can help him, where if he was in another part of the world at the moment and he's not playing as much, he might not have that support that he's got today.
Luke again?
Yeah, just back to Geordie for a second as well. You spoke about him just being an incredible athlete too, and I think you sort of intimated just how good he is on the ball as well. You just elaborate that, to have a left back like that who's not only got an engine like that, but a skill set with the ball at his feet seems pretty special as well in terms of that options that gives you as a coach. Yeah,
look, he's a completely different player to as his age as a left full back, and I don't think I've seen one like this one since Scott Chipperfield. And I hate to put a name on it, but he's a very, very similar player to Scotty, and he gives you that extra way that we can play, that maybe we don't need to play with an inverted fullback now. We can play with a fullback that can be high and wide and give us something different. So during a game, for example, if we are playing with that inverted fullback, we can change our style and change our way with one substitution, and that's what he brings brings that benefit to us now.
George?
Hey Arnie, we're all getting very excited about the new guys, but one guy who's returning who wasn't part of Qatar, Brandon Borrello, obviously on fire domestically. Kind of, you talk us through the conversations that led to him falling away out of selection in the build-up to Qatar, and where do you kind of see him suiting you best, mate? You can obviously play wide or central.
Yeah, exactly. And, Jamie McLaren's out, obviously, with a foot injury. And Jamie's obviously been struggling the last few weeks with that, but has played through it, which shows a great mindset. But Brandon can play anywhere across the front line, and I'll be honest with you, I hadn't seen him play as a number 9 before, but Mark Rudin has put him there and he's doing exceptionally well for the West Sydney Wanderers. As you said, he can play anywhere across the front line and he gives you something different. Obviously, Nick D'Agostino was in consideration as well, but just with him moving overseas to a new club, and they haven't really started their competition yet, and they've only really played one cup game. To leave the kid there to the new club I felt was important that he was able to settle in. But on Brandon's side of it, I'm looking forward to seeing him back in camp and moving forward as a lot of these players with the new campaign that we've got in front of us.
George, follow up. No, alrighty. Marco, weren't expecting you, mate. Away you go.
Arnie, how you going, mate? Just, I guess a bit similar to that in terms of with Aiden O'Neill. I think he was part of your
Oliver's.
part of the and then didn't go to the Olympics.
Yeah.
Where do you think he's improved, and what are you hoping to see from him if he gets a chance?
Mate, I think he's physically improved a lot, but also, the way that Paddy Kuznorbo and Rado Vidicic have got him playing at Melbourne City, and I've been watching him close for a long time. He's been on that list for over the last year, and that's how quickly players at that age can change. I think he's a lot more positive now as a player in possession. Playing as a sole 6 under Paddy Kuznorbo, you could see that he was more structured to his game than probably he was under me originally, but he's learned a lot over the last couple of years and he's doing exceptionally well at Melbourne City, and he's one for the future, definitely, and I've been really impressed with his performances last year and also this year, and it was topped off on the weekend. I think that might have helped with a selection letter that he may have got before the game, that he was being considered, that he scored 2 goals. So I'll take credit for that, Marco.
Marco again.
Arnie, do you think he's destined to leave the A-League at the end of the season? And I guess if he does, I guess the key is to him to be playing, wherever he goes.
Well, Marco, that's up to the agent in Melbourne City, but the kid has the quality, and it depends where he goes, and wherever he does go, as you said, it's important that he keeps playing. Sometimes young kids take one step too big, and when they go overseas, and they leave Australia in good shape and with a good amount of games under them, and their future's looking bright, they take the wrong step, the one that's too big, and they end up not playing for a couple of years at an important period of their life and an important period of their careers, where, as I've said many, many times before, the age between 20 and 24 is crucial, whether you'll make it to 26 to 27. So it's important that these kids keep playing.